Do not feel discouraged by a world you do not understand. Your thoughts about what it meant deceived you, that is all. They could not tell of truth, for their foundation was a lie. The core issue has always been your denial of yourself, and trying to understand anything from this distortion is completely meaningless. How could it not? Searching for answers without knowing the real question can only lead to despair and even more confusion. When you are asked to look upon how the deceit is only in your mind and not in the world, this is what is meant. No one would question his own thinking unless he really understood that it was his thoughts that betrayed him. Then he would be startled by the fact that it now seems as if he can't trust himself. And thus the conflict is seen where it actually is, and no longer projected. Thoughts serve a purpose. Their message is intended to draw attention to something. And this is where the confusing begins and ends. For what could they speak of if you firmly believe you are who you are not? Would they not serve this very belief when they, being true or false, do belong to you? Thoughts are the most basic of your experience. They hold the very limits of your capacity for understanding, or so it seems. For no matter how confused you seem to be, you know you have a choice in which way you want to direct your mind. The opportunity to stop hurting yourself never ends, for the power in this belongs to you. And if this is true, doesn't it tell you something very important about yourself? If you are but a prisoner to the denial of your own will, is this not a glorious discovery? Freedom must begin with the recognition of what the prison really is. Otherwise, it would be meaningless to talk about freedom if the idea of imprisonment is not recognized. You are both jailer and prisoner in this mad game you have invented. Hurting yourself as if you were a small being, unworthy of anything but retaliation from an unknown enemy who righteously sought your destruction. Who could such an enemy be that you deserve a life where fear is the only certainty? This was not your Father's wish, and in his perfect love for his Son, all fear is undone. Forgiveness is the one thought that makes this knowledge available to you. And how simple salvation becomes when you finally realize that you were only captive by your own decision. Freedom is your inheritance, and what could be needed for the will of God to be itself.